the award buffet. It's Nana Ansah, and our youngest ever listener, Nyami and Nyam, my external producers. But as usual, we start the way we start. Douglas from DC, I see you. Papa Ansah from Teshi, I see you. And Cecil Atipo, I see you. It's roll call. We need to get a sponsorship for the roll call and a whole time dedicated for our roll call. It's very important. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, ruler of the little republic of Akwamo Edumasa. We're a little republic, but we are not, we don't have any intention of segregating ourselves from Ghana. Any republic within the republic. No. Professional of national development. I haven't heard from you in a while. A guy called me and said I was a professional of national development. And I'm Simasum. I hope he calls today. Today is a national development show. For all I call this show, that's my opinion. A beautiful ritual performed on Mondays, a ritual that's meant to make us better Ghanaians. And every Monday we meet here right at this time on Joy 99.7 FM, 25 years and still going strong, honestly. If you know the politics within the media fraternity, you would understand how it is that this is such a great station or media house to work for. And at this time, every Monday, you should join us here. Folks, our topic today is Until the Lions Have Their Own Historians. Our topic today is Until the Lions Have Their Own Historians. Folks, there's been countless of times that, I meet people and when they realize that I am Nana Ansah Kwao, on Joy FM, and they say, normally two things, they still remember that. And then they attempt to recite the proverb and say, oh, Nana, what's that thing you say? The lion and the historian thing, how does it go? And, sometimes I help them. Sometimes if it's not too conducive, I just, kind of smile and then walk past. But then those I help, I tell them that until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Now, there are some who go further to ask, what does it mean? I just love it, but what does it mean? Well, folks, we never follow the hunter on his hunting expedition. It's only when he comes back that he gives us his account on what happened. And of course, it will be on how heroic he was. So until the lions in the forest get someone to tell their version of the story of what actually happened in the forest, the only account we shall get is that of the hunter, which will always favor him. Now, this has been the fate of Africa and has been the doom of the black man. Our account of ourselves is through the perspective of foreigners, some of which are very deliberately skewed. Others are maybe just a misunderstanding of the way we live. Either way, we the black people bought into it. We studied it in schools. We have taught it in churches. Our parents made sure that it was imbibed in us. And woe betides you if you try to think or dare to say that, no, we had a good history. That means you are Antichrist. Almost all of our ancestors were replaced. They were not good enough. And none were good enough. The more we got schooled, the more we got ignorant, the more we got schooled, the further we drew away from our own. The church and the mosque also did not help. The church was more in love with Israel's culture. The mosque was more equally in love with the culture of Medina. We were building a solid foundation for a hopeless future. A nation with no history, or a nation that despises its own history. Now, once upon a time, it was our culture to always tell stories to the young, mostly of our history, where we came from, the battles we fought, the oath we have taken, and why. The family trees, even the reasons behind the names of the towns that we live in. Now, once upon a time, Ansah Kwao, who was a warrior and a hunter, his father, the Ajinahini, bequeathed him a portion of his land. And when he went, he settled under the 3 Odum trees. Odum trees. 3. And he set his hut there. And so that portion of land was called Odum Miensa, Odum Miensa, Odum Miensa, and now it becomes Edumasan. And till date, I have the last of the Odum tree in the palace, which I'm not preserving very well. I have to preserve very well. But if you come to my palace today, the last of the Odum tree that this hunter settled under, I've brought it to the palace and I'm trying to preserve it. History of the reasons and the names behind the towns. Folks, the reason why once upon a time Nana Ansah Kwao stood up against the British was one thing. Just one thing. Folks, she was confident because she knew who she was. Nana Ansah Kwao knew who she was. Today, it may be difficult to get a Nana Ansah Kwao because instead of standing our ground, we are in a hurry to be white. We want to be slave queens. We want to dress white. We want to eat white. We want to talk white and think the same. Folks, look at the numbers of Africans who risked their life to cross the desert and the Mediterranean to Europe just for the opportunity to be slaves again. To the extent that, the modern African is sold far cheaper than his predecessor or his ancestor. Now, these are not doctors or pilots. These are they're not accountants seeking high-paid jobs. No. They just want the opportunity to be enslaved, quote and unquote. And folks, check this out. They pay even for the opportunity. They pay to walk across the desert to go and do these menial jobs. It's not for free. If you don't know your history. Folks, the consequences of ignoring your history. In 2016, 180,000 black people crossed from North Africa to Europe. 5,000 died in the process. And guess what? The following year, 3,100 died trying. Folks, they are desperate to go back to slavery again. In 2019, even after the sea patrols and strict regulations, nearly 80,000 crossed. Over 1,000 did not make it. Any opportunity to escape, because to them, there is nothing good in Africa. And repeatedly, wise scholars have said that confidence is derived from knowing your history. Know who you are. The neglect of history has literally turned us into slaves again. History is very important, folks. History cannot be treated as we are doing now. It is not a subject just to gloss over. It's something that must be imbibed in you. History will help you not to repeat your past mistakes. That's how come in the past we had spirits, what I call the spirit of never again. Our forefathers had the spirit of never again. And in every town, every major town you visit today, there's an oath to remind them of an incident in history that they vow never to repeat. You come to Akwamu and we swear to the Akwamu Hine Yauda. You go to Akuapim and they swear to Ukuada Nisokode. You go to the Asante and they swear by the Asante Hinin Tamkesi. You go to Achim and they swear Ukuada Nikunyako. Whatever it is that happened there, till this date, they swear that it will never happen again. History was literally lived all the time. Until date, Nana are doing their best, but maybe not good enough. We've all become elite and born again, and we cannot be dabbling in too much primitive ancestor matter, and we are paying the price. Now, I've said several times that Ghana, after it was conceived in the minds of those who wanted independence, and probably the documentation that finally sealed it, in reality, we were never able to achieve it. Ghana only existed in status, but never in our heart, in our minds. There's no such thing. Now, I drew our attention to the spirit of oneness which the Black Stars, when they were playing in 2006, when Stephen Appiah and Michael Essien were leading the boys in Germany. Oh my God, nothing else mattered. Akwamu or Ashanti, MPP or NDC, Christian or Muslim, folks, Ghana or even non-Ghanaians. We were so charged up that whites and other foreign nationals were drawn into the positive euphoria. The whole country was red, gold, green. Even in London, Ghanaians just took over the city. Work colleagues who were not from Ghana had no choice but to join and say, look, Kweku, have you got any of these t-shirts? Get me one to wear. It was just the buzz. Folks, you can't put a finger on that spirit. That's the spirit in America. That when our relatives go there and get 1 degree or 2, they come back and they associate more with America than they do here, even though they were born here. But I also ask, so if the Black Stars are not playing, what will hold us together? Like the American dream, like Britannia ruled the waves, like the Swedish Vikings. These are not statues or tangibles. These are in the blood of those who live on the land. A common history that they all fall back on in times of despair. So that the important question, is this country worth dying for, becomes relevant. This spirit that draws people together. Folks, that's the spirit that makes the question, the very important question that every citizen in any place should answer, is that, is this country worth dying for, will become relevant. One American, Michael Anthony Petrarca, said, if you ignore history, it's like arriving at a mall, and normally they give you maps dotted all about, giving you directions on where to go and where you can find your way. And he says, ignoring history, it's like seeing a blank mark with no markings on it, but a red dot saying you are here. There's no marking. There are no signs on just big plain sheet says map, nothing, but with a red dot saying you are here. Folks, as my wife would say, where is here? How did you get here? And where do I go from here? But let me remind us all that our history did not start from Diago de Azambuja, nor did it start after independence. And a very simple mistake we make is that we think history only happens many, many years ago. No. Sometimes we live through history. The epoch of Jerry John Rawlings is a history that I am glad to say I lived through from the start to the end. And what a milestone it was. Folks, I quite remember that any time that June 4th fell around Monday or around the time I had to do, that's my opinion, I will remind His Excellency Jerry Rawlings, God bless his soul. I always said that. And I'll ask him to chill because I could see his frustration trying to let us know how important June 4th was. But it was not his place to let us know that June 4th was a savior for Ghana or not. Posterity would one day make that decision. And how right I was, folks. Now I'll remind him that Kwame Nkrumah was one of the most vilified Ghanaian leaders. Yet, after 28 years, in the year 2000, he was man of the millennium. We could not have enough of him. Otigini, Rikra, Bessi, Kwasiebiti, Daso. I mean, the most derogatory words were used against him. Yet, we couldn't have enough of him. Suddenly, he was man of the millennium. His head, that was Kwasiebiti, was put back on there. Universities that has his name taken off were put back on there. Folks, it has not even been a month. And then we hear the founder of the Fourth Republic, creator of the political stability, bold and brave, hero, and all stakeholders are trampling over each other. Who can take center stage of a final send-off? I told him, chill, Mr. Jerry. You have played your part. That's all you can do. As to whether it was right or wrong, posterity will judge you. But folks, you see, if we don't tell this story for posterity to learn, the lives that were lost, the sacrifices that brought this peace which makes us the envy in the sub-region. Believe it or not, all the moaning and winding and winding you hear all this week and you think Ghana is the worst place. No, forget it. We are the envy in the sub-region. And if we don't protect it, the future of posterity may take it for granted. And I've always said that, folks, not even a single movie on Kwame Nkrumah. I think one day if I should see Martin Kpebu to see if I can sue the state. If I can sue this, I don't know if I have any legal backing to sue the state that has Ghana. There are about 6 movies on Mandela. Name it, any significant leader in this world, Winston Churchill, everybody, the state from where they came from, make sure they make a good movie for people to watch and understand, is this what he went through and is this what we gained? Folks, not even a single movie on Kwame Nkrumah, not one. Thanks to Chief Momen and my own uncle KSM, we wouldn't have really have a significant play. So how do I, folks, advocate for a movie about the life and times of Jerry Rawlings? Not for entertainment, but for heartfelt national lessons. These are the stories that let the youth stay and love their country and fight on. These are the movies that answer the age-old important question, is Ghana worth dying for? But you see, my question is, if those who lived through the epoch of Kwame Nkrumah have refused to document it in a movie form, should we also do the same? Reverend Opuni Frimpong says a country with a divided past can never have a united future. And here we are. Even our present is divided. Folks, the story of Jerry Rawlings should be told. If his book is done, let's spend good amount of money to make a good blockbuster movie out of it, before some Westerners come and tell the story of JJ in their perspective. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Good evening to Dr. Kofi Amoah, tuned in, and the number is 0302 216 541. Okay, so I think I have Nana on the phone. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Good, Nana, let me hear you.
The documentation. I think people like documentation, and it's the reason why they are where they are. It's part of the reason why they are where they are. As a people, I think we follow blindly sometimes. We don't try to find things out ourselves. So we've used certain religions and others to cover our face. We are killing the nation. Is Ghana worth dying for? Nana, if you don't fight for the country, who also come and do it for us? The only country we have, as annoying that it might be sometimes, it's the only country we have. So we'll try our best to do what we gotta do. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Good evening. And I have Kofi in Tema. Hello, Kofi.
Yes, Nana, how are you?
I'm very good, Kofi.
Well, Ghana is West before, but I don't think in today's Ghana, simply because we don't have a good reward system where you see someone in politics, very rich tomorrow, very, very rich. Nobody asks any questions or writing allegations leveled at them, and the government doesn't follow. They all walk around enjoying the money. So why would you want to die for something like that? Now back to the main reason. To document to tell our story. Very, very important. But we have the Eurocentric and then the Afrocentric. But it is kind of surprising, as you said, that we're not even right. Even the book on genital warning, which I read, was written by a European, which is very sad. If you talk about our history back in the day and why charity is taking center stage, you are a chief. Know very well, back in the days, if a chief dies, they'll kill somebody to accompany the chief. Our traditional practices were so barbaric to the extent that when the missionaries came with the Bible, people embraced that and then left our own. So my question to you is, have we reformed our own traditional practices? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Big question, big question. And yes, but you see that let me just quickly answer that question. You see, every nation in this world has gone through a period where I don't want to use human sacrifice, but has gone through a period where people died or they sacrificed people for the nation. Every nation in this world, every people. So it's a period that we all went through, and Africa was no different. I'm telling you, the Europeans were actually worse. If you listen to my show on witches, look, they burnt like 500,000 witches. Burnt them. Shiomo. Witches, just like that. So we have all gone through that, but we can't go back and say that because we also went through that, that's our stigma. But that's not the show today. I think maybe one day we'll come back to hello. I got Ajimai coming tonight. Let me hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Nana, it's very important you are coming out with this topic. The FM has been trying somehow along the line when we are celebrating Ghana month. Then we have been traveling all over the country, and those places, historical sites, they visit, and go and seek for information and open our eyes a bit. But I think as a nation, we need to do more. We have been hearing our heritage, the way of our culture, the way we live on radio and other television stations. But I think as Ghanaians, as youth, we need to know our roots, where we were coming from, how things were done, why was it done that way, and what should we do to go back to our roots. These are some discussions that we need to hear. And I think, as you said, God will give you the strength and the mind and the wisdom to continue so that we know where we are coming from and where we can go. Thank you very much, Nana.
Ajimaya, thank you too very much. Derek is on the line. Hello, Derek. I didn't get your message. I didn't get your message. Yes,
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Nana, you are right. First, my condolence to the late president's family and may his iconic soul rest in peace. Now you hit the nail right. I think the mistake here is we are forgetting to learn our history. And also, the missing link, the second missing link is, I think, civic education is what is worrying us now. I think the second person that spoke before me now is describing our tradition and culture as being barbaric. I don't know whether you read history, but I'm not the judge here. But then, what I mean we should do is we should rather learn history and civic education so that we'll be proud of ourselves. And forget about this. Christianity came and were killing us. Which country hasn't fought before? And it's right where he is. He should mention to the European countries or America. Well, I rest my case.
And he rests his case. Yes. Every country has a checkered history. I mean, I think King Henry VI killed like 6 of his wives. I mean, we've all gone through that, but we cannot be judged by that. Ebo is on the line. Hello, Ebo.
Hello.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yeah.
Uncle Nana. I've been saying this thing often. If laws will work in this nation, I think this nation will go forward. Or don't you think so?
If we want to...
If we make law work in this nation.
Oh, yes.
Don't you think this nation will go forward? Because we have decided to make sure that we want to work by democracy. So if that then law must work. The white people, they always make law work. So the people obey whatever that goes on in the nation. But when we come to our side, it doesn't go that way. So we will keep on talking. Then things are still going back. This is my opinion.
I hear you, and you see, I think I beg you remind me why laws don't work in Ghana. We have to do that show. Why laws don't work in Ghana? We have to do that. Nee is on the line. Hello, Nee.
Hi, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
Great. And I'll take it from where my brother ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the laws are really not working.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. Because we live in a country where the elderly never goes wrong. When things are wrong, we should tell people in their face that it is wrong. You cited places like Europe and America. I mean, this is how they do it. They don't care who you are. We live in a country where a political party comes into power. All women organizers become caterers. Yes, and you know it. We live in a country, the same political party comes to power. People who have no idea about constructing roads become contractors. We know. So why won't the young guy who is so frustrated in Ghana go to the desert and get to, as I'm speaking to my brother is in Libya. So Nana, it is not just anything, but there are certain things in this country which is so wrong. Like I said, we should be blunt with people in this country because we voted for people and then we put them in power. So I won't come to you, Nana, for water or electricity. I need to go to the one who I voted for and speak and talk for him to hear. But this is a country, even when you're speaking, people don't hear. You get it? So I really don't blame the young guys who travel. And now watch it. Those young guys who are outside. See the videos nowadays they bring out. People are furious because they compare what they are going through and when they were here, they see there's a vast difference. Then I would really have a country to build. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that call. And yes, we definitely have a country to build. But this laws thing, we will definitely do a show on it because there's a big conversation to be had. Chidiak is on the line. Hello, Chidiak.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. It's been a while. Thank you for calling.
It is. You know, Ghana is suffering out of is it intellect? I'll call it intellect bankruptcy. The educated people that are knowledgeable, people that God has given wisdom to carry this country ahead, carry the poor along with them, carry the vulnerable along with them. They have formed a clique, duping this country left, right, and center. That is the problem of this nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was Chidiak on the line. 0302216541 is getting interesting. Well, now this morning my wife was invited to a peace talk on the Peace Award. So she gets a beautiful red dress and, looking all glamorous. And I say, hey, traditionally, you go and talk peace wearing red. So you have to wear white. Traditionally, you wear white. I mean, there's so many things in our tradition that's that's misconstrued. And I think maybe Marcosby was right to say, look, we need to do more education on our culture, and we will. And with regards to this laws that don't work thing, it's a big conversation that should be had. Kamala is on the line. Hello, Kamala.
Yeah, Nana, how are you?
Very good, and thank you for calling.
Good. Nana, you're talking about the history thing.
Yes.
My question is, who's teaching it?
Well,
we see our own history as backward. When you talk about traditions and religion itself of our own, we look at it as backward. Because nobody has really sat down to really go through and teaching all of us. So, by and large, things are done, nobody understands it, then it just passes away. Then, like you said, somebody will come and write a book for us, and because it's Obroni, we'll respect what he says. It's becoming a problem. Now, if you go back to our own second circle institutions and the history that was written, there's a lot of problem with it. Yet, who is talking about it? Moral religion, now they say was what? R&E. Really go through the curriculum. And you realize it is as small as you can think about. So we need to write it to teach our own. In our own home. Aren't you encouraging our young to be reading things by Mills and Boone and other things? How about the Bukwana Sisters? So we can take it from our own homes. And even that, gone were the days where you're talking about Jomasa. How many of us come back home when we're doing festivals? During the times of Easter, when we have to come back home and even see our own, see how things are done, understand the rituals and the things that go on. Nobody does that. But we celebrate Christmas like crazy. So we ourselves should sit back and relook at how we do our stuff. We'll rather serve fried rice to our children instead of oto and egg. And now who should come and teach you? We should sit back as parents, see what we know, what we can teach our children, and the tradition would carry on. Because our tradition is not written, actually. It's actually lived.
Yeah.
So we should do that. And I guess that it's going to help all of us. I mean, these days, if you go for funerals, how many people wear cloth? Now it's 2-piece and banana, all black. So we borrowed it from somewhere. Gradually, the custom of wearing cloth is going to go away. So we need to start doing it. And I guess that you need to pick up the stories and help us all go through it. And encourage our own to read about our own stuff. And it will help.
And I thank you so much for this call. For a good 18 years of my life, I learned that the Ashantis were defeated by the British and they came under British rule in 1849. Until I did my master's in archival studies, my lecturer, Dr. Pino Akotia, told it differently, that it wasn't so. However, the Ashantis became part of the British protectorate when the Europeans were scrambling for Africa. I believe many of our history were twisted to favor the interest of somebody. Macosby Anthony. But Israel is on the phone. Hello, Israel.
Hello, Nana.
Hi, good evening.
Fine evening. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you for calling.
Beautiful. You are doing the good work for the motherland.
Thank you.
Okay. The history, who are we to blame? Are we going to blame the men of letters, or we are going to blame ourselves? You see, some of us, we are illiterate. We can't even recollect things as fast. They should bring all those things down for us to come and read. Keep on pushing. Maybe what you are saying, it will come to pass tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is an interesting one. Good evening, Nana. It looks like the Asians, the Caucasians are quite comfortable with their hairs and body, but not the African. 90% of wigs and cosmetic products in the world are used by African Americans and Africans. Mental slavery is still alive on the motherland. Lord have mercy. Udote ni udote. Folks, if you ignore history, right? If you ignore history and you think it's just a subject or you think it's just a passing story, you will be surprised the zombies that turn out. Bernard is on the line. Hello, Bernard.
Yes, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yes. Good. Now this issue about why laws are not working in Ghana.
Yeah.
I remember somewhere in 2014 you interviewed a certain Dr. Nana Ansah.
Yeah.
And you were taking us through some of the journals he wrote. And one point that so stood out for me, he said, "Pity the nation that do not have sacred law." And I do remember.
Yes.
And also let's ask ourselves, what secret laws country do we have? I mean, people do anything to protect that law. It doesn't matter who you are. So let's ask ourselves. Sometimes we tend to ask it where, like I said, but as for Ghana, you have to find laws and all that. Really, find laws. Why come people are not obeying those fine laws? If you have sacred laws, the issue is about the sacred laws. It's not about whether the laws are fine or good. Okay. Now, this issue about our history too. And I think it's a conversation we have to have, a national conversation we have to have. Some 30 years ago, a room in, let's say, University of Kukuta Atlantic was occupied by one person. Mm-hmm. Just 30 years ago, today go to University of Kukuta Atlantic, when that room that was occupied by one person is today occupied by 3 or 4 people. What happened between that 30 years and now? What happened that, I mean, our so-called elders today were sleeping one in a room. I learned they were being fed and all that. Today, they're asking us they need to go and sleep in that one room, 3 people in one room. That conversation, something happened. What happened? We have to have that national conversation. And I mean, until that is done, I think we are, I mean, there's this empty, truth that is not being told. So, these 2 things.
I thank you very much, my brother. I thank you. On the line is Sly. Let me talk to Sly. Hello, Sly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I want to put you on a tight corner.
Good.
I ask a question and I want to know what you would do. So you bought a car with a traditionalist, being a Christian. Mm-hmm. Halfway through the way, this fetish priest started behaving funny, saying that just from any moment from now, the car will crash and there was no survivor. So he allied. Will you ally too as a Christian, or you just continue with your journey?
No, get off and get another car. If I'm closer to the door, I'll probably get out before he gets out.
Guess what? I said I'll ally. Mm-hmm. I don't care whether I'm a Christian or whatsoever. And guess what? People were coming at me You're not a good Christian. I said, really? Okay, just get down, go and stand in front of in the highway and wait for the car.
Car. Was this the last car in the world?
I just don't get it. Nana, we live in a country where they say we are Christians using the same Bible, yet in the same Bible, yet we are divided to the extent that I don't understand. We live in a country using the same Bible where it's said in it, the same Bible, that we should eat the fruit and heal ourselves with the seed. Yes, so we have people who are specialized in healing us with the seed, and other side using the Bible are saying those people are evil. Can you imagine?
I can imagine. You see, the issue is that we all believe that we came from heaven. As to that argument is there. The problem is how to go back to heaven, and I have confusion, you know. Everybody you ask, whether Rastafarian, Muslim, Christian, we all know that we came from heaven. God created us one way or the other. A few people think they came out of the Big Bang, no problem. But the issue is, how do we go back to heaven? And only a problem, you. How do we go back? The Quran, the Torah, the Bible, the schnapps, whatever it is, that has become the problem. But Mensa is on the line. Hello, Mensa. Hello.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. I want to thank you for a very wonderful program.
Thank you.
You are doing so well.
Thank you.
I actually want to pat our forefathers on their shoulders for the great work that they've done for us. They couldn't go to school, but they were able, through oral tradition, to pass on a lot onto us. But what is happening now? Our intellectuals, our elites, they have let us down. Nana, they have made politics so cheap that nobody is ready to work. People who are academicians, people who are elites, people who are intellectuals, they are not helping us. So I don't know. It's disgusting. Somebody with knowledge, very well baked, before you realize, jumps into politics and then everything is. So not until we put a lot of premium on intellectualism and then also apply what we've learned in school, we are not going anywhere. And now we are not going anywhere.
Thank you very much. But we should all governments and governance structure around the world have spiritual backbones. The Europeans and the Americans have the Christianity, Indian, hedonism, Chinese, Shintoism, Japanese, Taoism. All these aforementioned civilized, developed countries don't combine spiritual backbones in the name of Christianity and Islam. Let's be serious. Saudi Arabia, England, America, etc. Though they all have other religious groups in their countries, don't combine Christianity and Islam as we happily have in our spiritual backbone in Ghana. We are lost people and going nowhere. Nana Ano Ame here. And on the line is John. Hello, John.
Yeah, Nana, how are you?
I'm very good, John.
Karl Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses. And that holds true. Christianity today, what has it become? I mean, an avenue to make money. I'm sorry, I'm a Christian. My name is John. Sure. But that's a fact. We ought to write our history. Write our own history and write it well. Just today on Joy Business News and Newsnight, we are so reliant on the West to the extent that IMF came here to tell us that we are middle-income country. I even didn't subscribe to that back in the day. Our professors in the universities did not do any independent work. They all supported it. Today, in the news, IMF is saying that they overdid whatever they did because it wasn't the true reflection of the country. Because today, if you're a middle-income country, you shouldn't go borrowing. But we are borrowing so much money, and they are now revising their books. So why is it that we are not able on our own things? When we have all these academicians in the universities, all I see is that they travel abroad for conferences here and there. What are they doing? If you look at COVID-19, Noguchi told us that the virus is mutating. Therefore, what is in China and America is not what is in Ghana. And people are even fine with the virus. As the study said, the antibodies have shown that over 1 million people, just per the research they did, already contracted the virus, but develop antibodies. So why are we not able to be self-reliant to produce our own vaccine? They are all waiting for Pfizer to come out with the sponsored vaccine by other countries. We are just relying so much on the West to the extent that even today's scientific age, we have so many people who even speak on Joy FM, from KICC, from here, and the Gucci here and there, but there's no breakthrough.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. All good tools eventually come to an end. But when one good thing comes to an end, another one continues, and that's Iggy. But those of you who miss Black Friday, there's another 3-day Super Thanksgiving promo. If you haven't gotten one yet, you need to. A bit of me, 50 nuggets at 50, and the best of you. All written by Ohene Yuri Giftianti, and the number is 054 361 8182. 054 361 8182. In the meantime, I want to say congratulations. Last week, you had the Woman of Honor Awards. And then this week, you got the Woman of Peace in Entertainment Award. Told you, Mabisi Apata. Amao. Na ye display room. Na Edumasa becomes a tourist attraction. You can come and see all these little statuettes. But folks, Abeku was on the ones and twos. Manuel is going to give you the news bulletin, and then Iggy is here. But in the meantime, in between time, you know it, that until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter.